Hi, I'm David Allen.
And I'm Nathan Foston, and we're The Fixers.
For years, Hollywood has come to us to fix their broken movies before you even saw them.
If it wasn't for us, the Da Vinci Code would have stayed a book.
But recently, after some unfortunate tweets,
which we've already apologized for,
Hollywood gave us
the boot. So we started this podcast. So join us, because with our help, we'll prove that any movie is capable of making $1 billion.
We fixed your movie.
All right, welcome back to Fixed Your Movie.
Hey, it's us. A couple of Hollywood players.
I'm David.
I'm Nate.
We are here yet again to take one of Hollywood's missteps and apply our magic touch and make sure that this movie hits $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what movies are for money. I mean, movies, yes, they are art. And I know that's controversial between you and I.
Hard disagree.
But, you know, in my view, yes, they are art. But, you know, what makes more money than art?
It's true. It's a good investment.
Look at a Monet. I mean, that shit sells for $150 million.
It's tax-free. NFT is a big move these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure. Art, fine.
Yeah. So,
you know, what I always say is writers don't make movies, directors don't make movies, studios make movies.
Studios make movies, and that I can't argue with. We may have this is why we work well as a team. We might have some quibbles, but, you know, fundamentally.
Come from the old school.
Yeah, fundamentally, we get the film business.
Exactly.
This is our second episode, and we got a little feedback on the first episode, and we ask all fans. You can tweet at us. If you join our Patreon,
you get special preference.
There's a patron fix, and I thought it was a great fix. But DW in our private Discord said the animal crackers idea was brilliant. I feel like you could come up with its own tie-in with the Barnum's animals.
Oh, yeah, because you had the idea of bringing in the animal cracker scene from Armageddon to up the BHI, the body heat index.
Right. And so DW says, but let's go one further. Do Barnum's animal crackers for it, and then maybe you get a little promo box tie in with the movie, and they could be in the shape of educational genitalia. Thank you for that fix at DW, and we look forward to more fixes, and we'll shout them out here on the next podcast.
So let's just dive right in. This week, the movie Nomadland 2020. Director Chloe Zhao. First fix. I think it would be a cool name just to go with Chloe Z.
Chloe, you know, it's hard to argue that. You know, there might be some sensitivities around that subject, but, you know, at the same time, it is a slamming name.
Yeah, Chloe Z. So far, let's go through the stars. It stars Frances McDormand of Transformers, Dark of the Moon, and Madeline the Movie.
Okay.
David Stratham, Linda May, and Swanky. First appearance in a movie, I believe. And
ouch.
Just came out, so the numbers...
It's still tallying.
Right now, box office-wise, it's at $5 million.
Oh, ouch. Did it come out earlier this afternoon?
Well, theaters aren't fully open, so it is feasible it could hit a bill.
Yeah, okay. And it feels, and I know it's a joint release, and you know, we'll talk about this more as the show goes on. I know it's a joint release with a home video. Hulu has exclusive streaming rights to it, and that's a mistake. I can't imagine Hulu. If you said it has about 5 million right now.
That's just box office. We don't know what it's doing on merchandising or anything like that.
Well, yeah, we'll get into it. But basically, I doubt that Hulu, which, you know, is primarily owned by Disney, I really doubt that Hulu paid $995 million to license the film.
Yeah, but if they were to apply our fixes, they would know that there is a $1 billion movie hidden within this.
Yeah, there is a gem. And so, you know, what we're here today to do is make Nomadland $1 billion. Dave, do you have a synopsis for us?
I'll read you the synopsis.
Right.
A woman in her 60s who, after losing everything in the Great Recession, embarks on a journey through the American West, living as a van-dwelling, modern-day nomad.
That's it?
That's
okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I watched the picture. I got to say it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one of the things that I tried to do, really, and I'm going to put this caveat right here, I really tried with this one because I do care about the art of film, and I'm using quotations, of course, but I do care about, I tried to stay within the realm of what they were going for.
Yeah. Well, let's just go to the first segment then.
The kid stays in the picture.
What worked? Now, I'll be honest, for this one, I don't have a heck of a lot. Because this could use a lot of tweaks.
This one's going to need a lot of elbow grease. I agree, David. I have a few, and they're stretches.
Yeah. I do believe that it's salvageable because we're good at what we do. We're great at what we do. We're the experts. We can fix anything. We fixed worse. Yeah. But I just have to be honest. From what I saw, this was a rough draft at best.
Yeah, from what you saw. So you didn't finish the picture.
I mean, I saw the movie.
Oh, I got you.
It was hard to pay attention. I sure did zone out.
Right.
But it also got my gears turning because I did have a lot of ideas.
Yeah. Well, let's run through what we did like about this movie.
Okay.
Shall I start?
Yeah. Give your first point.
Okay, well, I appreciate that was representing an underutilized demo in movies. Often we're always looking for the new hot young stars and the new next best thing, and we forget that the boomer generation has actually held on to their money at an astonishing rate to where they actually have more spending capital and spending power than the younger generations.
Yeah.
So I liked the fact, actually, that this movie starred Frances McDormand, who's a boomer.
Yeah.
It gave older people something to watch. I know it's a small thing, but I did appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a demo that you still want to hit because they do have the money. That's a great point. My first point is everybody loves a road trip movie, and this is a road trip movie.
Yes.
Freedom, hitting the open road. Reminds me a lot of the Tom Green film Road Trip.
Yeah.
Which worked.
Right, yeah.
It didn't hit a bill, but I think it's a great template. Easy rider.
It's a good start.
This is the kind of movie that works.
Yep.
Head out on the highway.
Yeah, people love a vacation. National Lampoon's Vacation, big hit.
It's a great genre, and there hasn't been a great road trip movie in a minute, so...
And... this is going to tell you what I think about this movie, because I'm already, when I'm telling you what I like, I'm getting some real granular details.
Yeah.
But there's a sequence where she is unhoused in a sporting goods store, and she runs into a tweener that she used to tutor.
Yeah.
I loved the idea of the interconnectivity between the tween and the older lady. And I really wish they would have done a little bit more with that. Maybe develop that tween character. Maybe even just have our road trip be a side event to what the tween's life is.
And I know we're still in the section where we're talking about what works, but that has me thinking, I'm not fully sure if that tween may have been a YouTube influencer, like a vlogger, because if it was, that brings in that demo.
Right.
And then you have her make her own content on her YouTube where she's on the scenes, making the movie, talking about meeting Frances McDermott, talking about Nomadland, more promo.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, the main reason why you put a tween, because otherwise I don't even get what the scene was there for.
Right.
So it just felt like and I hate to say this in the parts we liked, but it felt like a missed opportunity because why is she talking to a tween if not to exploit the tween for some views?
Yeah.
But anyhow, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're trying to talk about what we liked about the picture.
Yes. I'll go with my next one, Amazon. She worked at Amazon, one of the most profitable companies, basically its own country.
Yeah, that's a Freudian slip.
Yes, one of the most profitable entities on Earth.
Right.
And it's featured, could be featured more, but it's a starting point.
It is featured.
And they use the real company, and I love synergy like that, using an actual company, especially a big one like Amazon. When we go into the fixes, there's a lot that I'm going to expound upon there.
Sure.
But the fact that it's even in there, and it bookends the film. You see it at the beginning and the end.
Right. It leaves a good memory for you.
In a way, this movie's a love letter to Amazon.
Yeah, it's a calling card. Absolutely. Again, my next thing that I liked about it, again, is just kind of thing I wish they would have leaned into more, but it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
That I liked about it.
Yeah, Christmas movies, road trip and Christmas, that's two genres that everybody can get behind.
Yeah, and I had that one written down too, David, about the road trip idea. And what I really like about that now is They sell well historically.
Yeah.
And now that we're in this reconciliation, this post-MAGA reconciliation era, driving across the United States of America, that could really, that could mean a lot to some people. And I mean more than just their pocketbooks. They could be thinking about the movie, which we don't really care if they do or don't. But
if you're thinking about it, you'll spend money on
it again.
Yes.
You'll go back. So, I liked that part about it.
Yeah. And this is my final point that worked, because it's even a stretch. But I just had to say there's a lot of potential, because there is, hidden in here, I think the director maybe had the sketch of a movie that could hit $1 billion.
It felt very sketched.
Yes.
I think you're right. It felt like a skeleton. Maybe this was a proof of concept that they turned in, and they accidentally let it out.
That's kind of what I thought happened.
Maybe COVID. We might be being a little harsh, because maybe COVID just got in the way and they couldn't finish the movie or do the reshoots that they were looking for.
Yep.
I'll just run through my last few. I have a couple more than you did. There's a sequence where they're all talking at a campfire, and they talk to some Vietnam vets.
Ooh.
I love that. They tell the story of being in Vietnam. And you know this. We always say, why imply? You got to show it.
Yeah.
They're talking about Vietnam. Throw in a little war scene.
Yeah, cut to a flashback.
Yeah, he narrates what you're seeing, but you're still seeing it.
Yeah, and Vietnam War movies, they do sell.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And then you can also do a little bit of Army recruiting there, too.
Yeah, exactly. That is a good point,
He should have mentioned that he was an Army of one.
Yeah, he was an Army of one, and he signed up voluntarily for the Vietnam War. All of the subplots around the around the campfire were good.
Yeah.
Lots of spin-off potential, perhaps. Spanky, her friend, giving away everything. Swanky. And I've got more on this later, but I'm going to seed this in your mind.
We're going to go deep on Swanky.
Yeah. But
that's a good idea. Why not Spanky? That's a funnier name.
Well, yeah, that is true. I thought I should have watched it with subtitles. I thought they were saying Spanky the whole time. Swanky giving away everything. Just keep that seed in your mind.
Okay.
And finally, and I know I saved this one for last because I know we're going to disagree about this.
Yeah.
But finally, for me, it's the Oscar bait of it, and I just think that there is still value to be sapped out of award season. I think the fact that this is an Oscar bait title, and if we fix it, if we bring a little more Hollywood zhuzh to it, I think that Academy push that it's getting, let's put some multipliers on it. I think it would have legs, because I think this movie will have legs. But I think the problem is we're just financially starting with something so small.
Yeah.
So if we kept the Oscar buzz, and that's why I'm so married to the idea of keeping the zone, the intent of the movie, so that we still get those big Oscar wins, while also getting all that free promotion.
So this is nominated for Best Picture, and a lot of people are saying it's likely to win it.
It has a good chance.
And we have our disagreements about this. Best Pictures, it does help movies. It brings them to millions. How many Best Pictures get billions? Not many.
I got one for you. That's it. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's one of the few. So that's why I usually say don't.
Yeah.
Don't try and get any Oscars.
But if
Awards
we're already,
hold you back.
and all I'm saying is if we're already there.
Milk it for what it's worth. Sure.
Yeah. So, all right, I guess that brings us to our next segment.
Body Heat Index.
What'd you give it?
I think this is another one, honestly, David, where it is in the 4 or 5 range, and I think there's room for improvement. Huge upside on this pick. And who would have thought that a movie about baby boomers driving across the country is already at a 4 or 5 with upside?
Yes.
I have a few suggestions on how we could up it a little bit. Do you have anything?
Well, first I'll give my number. I gave it a 4.
Yeah, okay, so we're in the same boat.
There is a nude scene, but
yes,
but it's that dreaded word, tasteful.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't like the tasteful.
And
it's necessary for the plot. It does characterization, does everything I don't want in a nude scene.
But it's a full frontal.
That's great. I love that.
But here, let me throw this at you, David, because this is one of the fixes I thought of, is So, yeah, tasteful nude. And it's an older woman, and she's kind of obscured by water as she's floating down the river.
But Frances McDormand is cut.
And she is cut. And she still has wattage. I mean, she has star power still.
Yeah.
What if she's just hanging out in one of these caverns, floating along, and a bunch of rowdy teens go skinny dipping?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's spring break. Everybody's getting loose. They offer her a beer. She parties with them a little bit.
Yeah.
They go
Maybe things get out of hand.
Lisa Cholodenko made a movie. And again, studios make movies.
Yes.
But made a movie called Laurel Canyon. Mm-hmm. And Frances McDormand, in that movie, she makes out with her son's girlfriend, and another man. So we know she's game for it.
Yes.
So we just kind of like extrapolate that into this movie a little bit. Maybe she's not even kissing him. Maybe she is thoughtfully just floating along and we see some teens.
Yeah, and then they're kissing, in the background or whatever.
Yes.
And here's another thing. So this isn't full on nudity, but it is sexy in its own way. It's not my bag, but market research shows that it's not insignificant the amount of people who are into this sort of thing, and that is going to the bathroom in a bucket. You see that multiple times.
Yeah.
And there are people who are into that thing who will probably go to that movie just for this. Big problem with that, though, Frances does it twice. Nobody else does. So it's implied, again, why imply?
Why imply?
Everybody else is using the bucket to go to the bathroom. Why aren't we seeing it?
Yeah, at least all the mains.
Yes.
All the above-the-line talent should at least do it once.
Yes.
For sure. Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point, David. It's not necessarily my thing either. But, we go to parties around town. We see what people are into.
In Hollywood, every party you go to, that happens.
That'll happen at least once.
And one more thing, I will just add that there is a love interest between her and a character
David, you're
named
reading
Dave,
my mind.
But it just was not developed. The heat was not even...
Dave, the character of Dave, and we'll talk a lot more about Dave later. Mm-hmm. But
we'll meet Dave.
We'll meet Dave. But the love interest there, couldn't they have sex once?
Yes.
What I'm thinking, it doesn't even really change it because it kind of like materializes in an awkward way. Mm-hmm. So just let the awkwardness be caused by the fact that they had sex.
Yeah.
And then kind of had that Ross and Rachel next day.
Yeah,
where
will they, won't they?
Yeah, what did we do?
That adds a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
It adds, fully agreed.
And my last real suggestion, and maybe this is overkill if she's floating and they're spring breakers or whatever, but what if Swanky, instead of going off, Swanky, we find out in the movie, she has an illness and she is going off to see the most beautiful thing she's ever seen. Mm-hmm. And it turns out it's a cave with a bunch of birds in it.
Yeah.
What if instead she goes to a nude beach?
Yeah.
Swanky's like, hey, if I'm going out, I'm going to go out in style.
Yeah.
And she just goes, and we just show her.
Just a bacchanal of sex is what she wants to go on with.
Yeah, because she sends Frances McDormand's character a phone video of all these birds flying around. Replace the bird footage. What if she's at a nude beach in a hot tub?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. Yes.
But so I mean, I think it's... listen, we're at a good starting point. 4 is pretty good for a movie that is absent of many things. Mm-hmm. The one thing it did deliver on is full frontal nudity.
Yes, yeah.
So, and you might be saying to yourself... wait a second. Full frontal nudity, you're only giving it 4. Remember what David said earlier. The tasteful framing, it just didn't really sell the juice.
You could do a lot more. You could do a lot more.
Yeah.
But that's my whole, and I'm going to come back to this over and over while we cover this movie. There's a lot to start with. Yeah. But they could have gone a lot further.
It just feels sketched. It really does. I guess, shall we move on?
Let's do it.
The fix is in.
What are we going to fix?
Oh, boy. This is going to be a long one, folks. Strap in. I promise you we've got a lot to say. My first thing is, and again, this is one that you might have a little bit of pushback because of how you feel about awards season.
Yeah.
The movie has Frances McDormand's husband. It starts with him dead.
Yeah.
Again, why imply? Show him dying.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking, think about, and it doesn't matter if they win the award or not, but if you get an actor who's kind of late in career and cast them as her husband, they bim bang boom, get a John Lithgow, he throws in 6 days of shooting.
Yeah.
It's 8 minutes total screen time, and he wins, at least gets nominated for Best Supporting.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
That's a dramatic scene. Just him on his deathbed going, I've always loved you.
I'm thinking Bruce Willis comes in, okay? Yeah, I've always loved shows a side of Bruce Willis that you've never seen.
Yeah.
He's excited, so he's doing a lot more promotion, campaigning for the Oscar, talking about it a ton. I mean, I'm just try to remember, like, Burt Reynolds in Boogie Nights, or Bill Murray in Rushmore, or Eddie Murphy in Dreamgirls. Like, it's just like a three-pronger, you know? They get the attention, they're still name-brand stars, and it doesn't matter if they win, okay? It's the honor to be nominated.
Yeah, and, you know, I won't push back so much on this because you can get in and get out pretty quick. This can be the cold open before the opening credits.
Yeah.
He dies, blah, 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 opening credits, bam. Head out on the highway.
Yeah, David, that's great. Because, and honestly, that was one thing I noticed from just square one, is like, why is it opening so boring?
Yeah.
If you show Bruce Willis in bed, sniffling, you know, wiping his nose on me, I loved you for all of my life, people would eat it up.
Yeah.
And you'd be sympathetic to her in a way that you don't really get.
Yeah, it would earn it. It would earn it. And so my first note actually kind of relates to that, and I can sort of work my idea around yours, because we don't share our notes.
No, we don't share.
This is us hearing each other's ideas for the first time, but I think I can make my note work within yours. So I have another slogan I like to use when it comes to these movies, and it's called 1T per C. That means one tragedy per character, okay? In this, she lost her job, she lost her house, and she lost her husband. Right. That's 3 tragedies, which is too many. Mm-hmm. Pick one and run with it, okay? Okay, she lost her husband. We'll go with yours, because then we can get in that cool little opening scene. Yeah, get some extra promo, maybe get the awards. Yeah. But then everything else, it's too much. It's just blah, 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 blah. You know, most movies, you know, Taken, he lost his wife. He's getting revenge. Bam. You move. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't need all, it's just unnecessary.
She can still go on a road trip.
Yeah.
You don't have to be unhoused to go on a road trip.
It bums people out from the beginning.
Absolutely. No, and and David, this is why we worked together for so many years. It's just the interplay, because you're saying it's bumming me out. It's by 1T per C. I get it. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm thinking, without fundamentally changing the movie, there's a little thing where they mix comedy and drama called a dramedy.
Yes.
Okay, this is a full-on drama. Why not I'm not even saying rewrite any scenes. I'm just saying pump up the funny in the scenes you already have.
Add some sound effects.
I'm thinking the same thing. You already brought up the scene where she shits in a bucket, right?
Yeah.
And in this scene, I'm not even joking, somebody knocks on her van. Okay, that's funny.
That's classic.
She's being disrupted. So I'm thinking, just up the comedy value. You know, people were roiling in Dumb and Dumber. Yeah. Just give it up the sound a little bit. Give it a little brassier tone, like a.
Yeah.
You know?
Or stretch it out where just
where she's like, oh God, jeez, and she's really struggling. She, all that stuff, and it's brassy and elongated.
Yes.
And then somebody's like, hey, you're not supposed to be parked here. I'm a police officer. You
got to go right now.
Yeah, like you have it like a Mr. Roper, Don Knotts character. Like I'm thinking like a Nanjiani comes up and is like, Miss, ma'am.
Oh, he's got some heat right
really,
now.
Yeah, that type of very subtle humor that people eat up. Like, ma'am, is everything okay in there?
Yeah. And he has his shirt off because he's ripped at the moment.
He's ripped as hell. That's the other benefit now.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We're working.
I got it, and then the other, just this one more idea. Yeah. So one of the odd jobs she takes is she's, selling rocks, right? Mm-hmm. So what if, to, again, up the comedy, a Jerry Seinfeld type comes in and says, a rock store? You mean you only sell rocks? I thought this was a music store, but it's actually just rocks?
Yeah, and he says, I've heard of rock stars, but rock store?
Perfect. Yeah, something like, or let him riff. I mean, we're not the comedians, but let him.
Yeah, something like, or like someone, here's another little humor beat. Someone comes in and they're like, maybe it's, someone comes in and then they're like, they think it's drugs. They're like, oh, I heard you're selling rocks, thinking like crack rocks. Mm-hmm. Then that's like there's a big miscommunication. Yeah. It goes on for a while, Yeah. And he's like, oh, are these uncut? And then she's like, yeah, they're pure. And then he's like, oh.
And she hands him the bag. He's like, this is heavy. That's a lot of rocks.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah. Oh, see, and again, we're not the writers. We're not.
Yeah, you don't need writers.
You just riff this stuff out. Yeah. Just let it breathe. Right. Is what they did. didn't do. So that's it for my comedy note. But I'm glad you saw eye to eye on that.
Yeah. Okay, this is just sort of a general thing, but I think that in two ways this movie could use some color because it's dour. I'm talking just in terms of the color palette, it's a lot of grays, a lot of blues.
Yeah.
I think maybe like a Suicide Squad style color palette, a lot of purples, a lot of neons.
Yeah.
Just colored up because people don't want to see this dour, gray movie.
It's drab.
And then also in the soundtrack, there's like very like plinky kind of orchestral. Why not some Hans Zimmer? Or if you want to get someone with like, you get like that guy 10 Tricks Point Never to do like a really rousing synth score or something. Just like get it going right now,
Dude,
pump it up a little bit.
Pump it up, and then also, and David,
or some hits. I don't think I heard one pop.
That's what I was going to say. Get, you got John Cougar Mellencamp. What's the last thing he did? Get him to record an original song for the movie. And so she's singing it as she's driving, and then it comes into get some originals in there. And I know how you feel about originals. Fine. Yeah, jukebox ballad here. John Cougar, here's a little story about Nomad Land.
That's incredible.
It writes itself.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, it could frame the movie, I think, in a way that they just didn't really.
And again, just to maybe harp on the score a little bit, all of the big hits, I'm talking like the Steven Spielberg movies, there's a theme. There's a theme from Jaws. There's a theme from Indiana Jones. Yeah. Why is there no theme from Nomadland, where it's like you have the theme and then you do the sad version when it's sad, you do the action version.
That's how people start to recognize what they're supposed to be.
Exactly. You come out humming it, theme from Nomadland. Where was it?
I don't even remember. I watched it today and I don't remember.
Yep.
Hey. David, I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
It kind of plays into one of the things I did like. All the elements were there. Loss, suicidal ideation, small town, Christmas.
Yes.
Make this It's a Wonderful Lifestyle pastiche.
Yeah.
They say in the movie, Bob Wells is the guy who, runs the Nomadland festival she goes to.
Yes.
Bob Wells, he looks like Santa Claus. What if he didn't just look like Santa Claus? What if he was Santa Claus?
Yeah, she says he looks like Santa Claus, and then she goes, and then he's giving kids gifts.
It's like a miracle on 34th Street where he might be Santa, he might not be.
I love this.
And then Yeah, and then she's like, so you're taking two of the most popular Christmas classics of all time, mixing them up in the new reconciliation age. And so you've got her doing the It's a Wonderful Life thing. She's sad, oh boy. But then she meets somebody who may or may not be the real Santa Claus.
Yeah. And then the movie kind of plays it where even the movie like leaves the door open. Like she never really believes it. Yeah. But then at one point he does something that's like kind of a miracle.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, okay, like her van breaks down and then she's like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this tire. And then he reaches into
a red light coming up.
Yeah, or he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a tire, and the tire is like way too big for the bag even, and you're like, how do you do that?
Yeah, illusion, that type of thing. We'll come up with a way to explain it up.
Yeah,
because
you got to leave it open.
Yeah, you got to leave it open again because this is a high art film, so we're not trying to totally run away from the vision. Yeah. We're just trying to spice it, and I think that kind of open endedness would spice it while still making a reliable Christmas classic that you revisit every single year.
Yeah. I love that. We're already fixing this movie so much. This is why we're a team and why Hollywood used to pay us the big bucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go back to nothing new. If you're going to have a road trip movie, there's been many before, and one that really worked was Cannonball Run. So what if she had to make it across the country in like 2 days, so it's sort of like a race, and then you can add some other colorful characters racing along with her, and you can... Because in this movie, to be honest, there isn't really a villain. The stakes are pretty low. What if there was somebody else who was sabotaging her along the way?
David, you and I were so on the same page with this. What if, when Swanky's giving away all of her stuff, what if she pulls Fern aside and says, Frances McDormand, I've been saving this. I can only entrust it to you. Here is the lost 28th Amendment to the Constitution.
Oh,
and so then Frances McDormand has to go across country protecting it.
Yes.
She could still have all the same experiences, still go skinny dipping, whatever. But she's protecting the lost amendment, and presumably it's a bad amendment. So
and everybody's trying to get it.
Yeah, so it gives that Cannonball Run idea to it. Yeah, and it makes every interaction she has so much more consequential.
Yeah, like there's time. She has to keep going.
She has to keep going. When she stops and gives those hippies, she meets a group of hippies from a bus. She gives them a cigarette.
Yeah.
At that point, they could be like, we kind of do some slow motion work, and they're kind of eyeing each other out, but when they're trying to feel out if they can trust each other.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. It just adds some tension.
Yeah.
Same thing when she visits her sister. It's like, is her sister going to sell her out? We don't know. Mm-hmm. It just gives some extra tension that I think the movie was missing. But also, you just play the movie out scene by scene exactly as written with that extra element.
Yeah.
Again, it's a director's vision. We're just spice.
Yes, we just amplify it.
Do you got another one?
I have two more, and my two are very big spoilers. They involve the ending, so I want to let everyone know, and we'll go back and forth. But my next one is her friend Swanky dies. That is yet another tragedy, yet another bummer. What if she tells you, she says in the beginning she has 8 months to live and she's going to go visit this thing. At the end, she comes back and she says, on the way, I met a doctor. He had a miracle cure. I'm fine.
Yeah, she was going through the desert or whatever.
Yeah.
And got some, old spiritual healing or whatever.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. This kind of just goes with exactly some of the other things we talked about earlier with the Vietnam vets, but they visit a dino park in it, and her and Dave, her love interest kind of, who's the only other star with wattage in this movie. And wattage, low watt.
Low watt.
Yeah, these are
halogen.
Yeah, right. But they go visit a dino park and they say, I think the line is something like, I can't believe they were this big.
Yeah.
Okay. How about they go to bed? Maybe this is when they sleep together even. So they go back to his place, his van. They do sex with each other. And then and that's how you propel it. I'm actually just working this out now as I'm talking to you. That's how you propel their difficulties together.
Yeah.
Because she starts to feel guilty about it. She goes to bed, and then she has a nightmare where the real dinosaurs are after her, and she takes that as a sign that she shouldn't have slept with Dave.
Yes.
Okay?
That's a great idea.
But also, that gives, again, without changing the plot at all, it's just a dream sequence.
Yes.
But that puts a little money into this movie.
We love dream sequences because you can throw in whatever you want, and it doesn't change the plot.
Right. Yeah, exactly. She just wakes up and goes on her merry way after seeing, a cool dinosaur sequence.
Yes.
And I know we may not, we're not necessarily advocating for this movie, but, big art guys have done this before. I mean, there's Tree of Life. There's a whole dinosaur sequence in that movie.
Exactly. You can still win awards with dinos.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually my last in the fix section, and again, this actually goes to just what you were talking about, her relationship with Dave, and this kind of goes to the ending. I just want to say, people often criticize cookie-cutter endings. That's like a big thing that the critics like to throw, this part of the plot was so cookie-cutter. And that's something it just rubs me the wrong way, because what do cookie-cutters make? Cookies. Something everybody likes.
Great
so
call.
I am completely fine with cookie-cutter endings, and that's why I think the ending where, again, yet another bummer, the one person who she made a connection with, she ultimately decides to leave and go on her merry way when I believe wedding bells should have been ringing.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, David. I actually, to your point there, I'm thinking
she takes the ring off of her and hands it to him.
Yeah, the one from her previous marriage.
Yes,
yeah. To that point, David, I'm thinking at least, okay, so if we're not going to go with the cookie, if we're not going to ring the wedding bells, which I agree, in a different world, I say we do that.
Yeah.
But if we're not going to do that, and we are just going to go with the actual ending where she drives back to the house that she lost in the recession, what if that last night when she's watching him play the piano, what if they're, instead of just playing some generic old, poppycock, he's playing like a cool romantic song like A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
She sits down next to him. They sing the song together, have one final smooch, and she says, I'll be back sometime, but I have something else I can do. Drives back to the old farmhouse or whatever, and that's where she can bury the 28th Amendment.
And But I love that because it leaves it open for a sequel. Is she going to come back and marry him?
Right. That's true.
We don't even show it. We just imply that she's got things to do, but maybe in the next one she'll come back.
And that's where you could have, some wedding bells or whatever. Maybe a little stinger at the end or something.
Yes, I love that. That's a great idea. So, yeah, that's what I have for my fixes. I don't know if you have anything else.
I have one that's not necessarily entirely for this movie, but I'm going to strike kind of a serious tone for a second because this is just something that really, really upset me in this movie.
Yeah.
Frances McDormand is a star.
Yes.
So have some respect for celebrity, have some glamour. It's beneath everyone involved in a major motion picture, a major Hollywood picture. It's beneath everyone to have her cleaning a public restroom.
Yeah.
The film in itself, and I know it was going for some sort of level of realism, it just lacked decorum. It was beneath the studio, it was beneath the stars involved, and that just upset me. Outside of just a fix, that just upset me in a way that it just was so disrespectful to the idea of movie making.
Yeah. Well, I would say if we used your idea of maybe making this a comedy more, you could maybe go into like sort of the gross out comedy thing. I know that hasn't been so in the last couple of years, but I think we could bring it back, that late 90s gross out Fairley Brothers kind of like where someone's having the explosive diarrhea and then she comes in and she's like, oh, I gotta clean this up.
Yeah. And if that and that's David, if we're gonna do this broad, then we do it broad.
Yeah.
But we have make it cinematic in a way where we can, as the audience, distinguish that, Frances McDormand is not cleaning a public restroom.
Yeah.
In this movie, I'm watching it may as well have been a cell phone video of Frances McDormand cleaning a public restroom. It's just it's beneath her, it's beneath everybody involved, it's beneath the studio.
That was a misstep.
It really irked me and really felt disrespectful to you and I even.
Yeah.
I
agree. And I did feel disrespected too. Okay, we're going to move on to our next segment.
Hold fast or recast.
I had some casting ideas on this one.
I've got a lot of notes myself.
Good. So we'll start with the lead, Frances McDormand. I'll start. I like Frances. She's a great actor. Like I said, she was in Transformer: Dark of the Moon, a movie I liked a lot. She does, she was game for pretty much everything. But if I just had to make a suggestion, and this is a soft one, my other suggestions I would push more on. This one is just throwing it out there.
Sure.
We can maybe recast her as Emma Stone. She's 32, so
I'll roll with it. I entered this exercise presuming we would keep her.
Yeah, I was pushing really soft. I would float that idea in the boardroom.
And as a floated idea, it's hard not to turn my head. I feel like that meme where the guy's walking with Frances McDormand, but he's turning his head to look at Emma Stone. Yeah. I feel I'm in that place.
I just think she's old enough now to play that part.
Right, absolutely. And if I were the producer of this,
she's definitely mature enough.
Yeah. For me, and I think this would actually help the body heat index, one of our earlier segments, but Strathern, fine. He's a nice character actor for the side, but I'm thinking a hunkier love interest. It really, I think even if they had an off-screen sex scene, if we had one of the Chris's in there or something, just to get, and not Pratt, but just to get.
I have a different Chris for you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you finish, but...
Okay. Well, no, that's basically, I just need a hunkier, maybe in order, Hemsworth, probably, Pine, Evans, and, like I said, we can get rid of that. And Messina even, but he doesn't really have the wattage.
Okay, so I had a completely different Chris, but he doesn't have quite the wattage. And actually, before I get to the Chris, I had an even different idea. So, as you said, her love interest... Dave, it's established that he's a musician. We see him play the piano. So, just to stick with that, why not get someone hunkier who's an actual piano player? We haven't seen him in a while. I'm thinking Harry Connick Jr.
And it would be age appropriate.
Yeah.
It would be really...
He's a good-looking guy. He's charming. Wow. He can act. We haven't seen him in a while. It'd be great to see him come back. And we wouldn't have to fake the piano stuff. He can actually play.
That is a great idea. You know what? I'm going to withdraw the Chris's.
So honestly. That was my idea. But then also, because that just got me thinking, who's another musician, age appropriate? He plays guitar instead of piano, so we would change that around a little bit. But Chris Isaac.
Chris Isaak, another great, another great. And he would be, and he could play the guitar, you know, and plug it into the van and kick it, you know.
Yeah, people prefer guitar to piano anyway.
And plus, like, the guitar, it's a road movie. The guitar is a lot easier to play on the road than a piano. Exactly. It's really hard to play a piano on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, remember Mad Max? They got the guitar guy.
Exactly.
You know.
That's an idea. Maybe he could be playing guitar in the front of the van.
Yeah, while she's driving or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, another huge problem I had with this movie was just the casting in general. It's like it's all real life people.
The worst.
You know, and we'll get to the specifics of some of her friends. I'm sure
you see real life people in real life. You don't pay money to see real life.
Right?
People.
Yeah, you can go to the store down the street. To see real life.
You can
people.
see Swanky.
You pay for but you know, to stick with the idea maybe of like okay. But we're trying to go for some realism.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say it, stunt casting. Let's stick with the realism. It's a road movie. Let's think about it. Who's RV, you know, let's get some of the cast members from the movie RV or the National Lampoon's Vacation. You know, she runs into Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo.
Ooh, that's a great.
Or even, you know, think about this. You get the real life Winnebago man. If you want to do real life people, get the real life Winnebago man. And he can cuss her out real quick.
Yeah, that would bring in the young people because they love viral
It's a
clips.
meme. Yeah, it's a viral. For sure. And even if you don't put him in the movie, you just have him do some of the marketing.
Yes.
You know.
Okay, to go off the marketing idea, this is basically purely off marketing. It's very similar to your idea of throwing in a husband at the beginning, but there's a brief scene towards the end where she visits her sister. I don't know who the heck her sister is. That would be a good opportunity. You can get someone big like Meryl Streep or Nicole Kidman.
I had Meryl Streep for that character. I had Meryl Streep.
Yeah, you have her for 1-2 days shooting. You throw her on the poster. You get her doing you know, Letterman or whatever. I don't know who's hosting these days.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a nobody.
Yeah. I agree. And that's again because they used real people. Her friend Linda May and Swanky are both missed opportunities. They are real van drivers who can barely carry a line.
Yes.
I'm thinking you get the two, you know, you get two older funny ladies to, again, pump up that funny, like a Lorraine Newman or a Carol Burnett. Think about this, you get Grace and Frankie themselves, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda.
I love that.
And they
have them playing Grace and Frankie.
Yeah, exactly. They bring in that synergy.
Yeah.
I love it. Or even, honestly, and this is a soft push.
Yeah.
But what if you get Courtney Cox, Jennifer Aniston, put a little age makeup on them.
Yeah.
You know, stunt cast it, you know, kind of do the Uncle Drew thing.
Yes.
You know, that would be a fun little Easter egg for people.
I love that. Okay, Bob, the character who's another nobody, who is the guy who's bringing them in, kind of starts the whole plot going because he runs this community of nomads. Why does he have to be a nobody? We could have him be played either by Sam Elliott or even McConaughey.
Oh, yeah. Bring that folksy charm.
Yes.
I love that. David, I got 6 words for you regarding the tour bus full of dirty hippies. Mm-hmm. Dirty hippies recast as Jonas Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
You bring, and I have another idea that'll come later when we do our number crunch, but I just planting the seed for the idea that these dirty, and you can make them, you can dress them up a little dirty, have them carry a bindle or whatever and put a little, coal soot on their faces, but it's the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, I love that. I love that. My last 2, and I'll still give you, we'll go back and forth still, but mine are to that classic idea that always works, stunt casting. So this one I actually expected and was very surprised and disappointed not to see come through, but one of the few actual recognizable hits is there's a moment where they're sitting around the campfire and they sing Willie Nelson's On the Road Again.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, this is foreshadowing because later she's going to go to a Willie Nelson concert and he's going to be in it and maybe bring her on stage or something.
Yeah, Bonnaroo type.
Why didn't it happen?
Yeah.
Where was Willie? He had to sign off on the song, bring Willie Nelson
Yeah,
in.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
He can smoke a joint or something. We've mostly legal at this point, so that'd be kind
almost
of
everybody can have a joint.
Yeah.
I love, damn, David, I can't even believe I missed that one.
Yeah.
That is a great, That's a great idea.
And she can sing along on the road again. That can be in the end credits.
Yeah, I love it. This is my last one, and this is kind of just bringing up a problem more than solving a problem. Dave's family. So at the end of the picture, when Dave stops his life on the road and goes and lives with his family, his kid's a musician, and he's trying to reconnect with him. I don't have a great answer for this, but I'm thinking maybe his kid's Zac Efron.
Ooh.
And is it Selena Gomez? Who was the woman from High School Musical?
Yeah, Selena Gomez.
So we reunite them as his son and daughter-in-law. But I'm just spitballing here. I really
love it.
That one was kind of outside my wheelhouse, but
I like that.
Yeah? Okay.
No, that works for me. My last bit of another stunt casting moment, because this would work for a lot of reasons. During the Amazon scene, she's working on the line. Maybe she's getting overworked. When she looks and who's working next to her? Jeff Bezos. And he's working on the line, and he says, hey, I roll up my sleeves, and I do some elbow grease myself. I like to work, and I like to help out my employees. I do every bit as much work as everybody else here. He can say that directly into the camera.
David, I think that's an awesome idea, because
people want to see him.
The film itself is basically pro Amazon anyhow.
Yeah.
Maybe agnostic. Maybe
that's why I say you got to tip it over to pro.
But I don't think it would change the story at all.
Yeah.
Because she already says, she says multiple times in the movie, I'm going to go back to Amazon. I'm going to make that Amazon money. Yeah. Amazon pays well. She says it over and over again. So this is perfect. Why not lean into it?
Yeah.
A huge highlighted cameo, and also sponsorship dollars.
That's the thing. If you get Bezos himself in it, people are going to want to see it because people love that guy.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's going to want people to see it, so he's going to personally start promoting it.
Promoting it on Amazon. One of the more popular websites.
Yes. Okay, moving on to
Number Crunch.
This is where we try to use everything that we have in our toolkit to hit that billion.
David, let me set the stage for you here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything we've talked about makes it seem like this is insurmountable, but it's just imagine back. Take this journey with me. It's 1981. We just entered the world of Reaganomics, and there's a little movie about an elderly couple reconnecting with their daughter is released. One of my favorite movies, I might add. Watching the sweet story of a cranky old man and his real-life daughter, Jane Fonda, reminds me of why I like the movies, and I bring this all up to say it is not impossible to get Nomadland to a bill, because On a Golden Pond was a certified golden ticket, David. It was the #1 grossing movie of 1981.
Whoa.
Okay? So if a little movie like that can do it, I think with our special touch, our secret ingredients, I think we can do this. All of that is to hype us up. Let's hit it, baby.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw in my first idea, which is international appeal. This is a movie that is about America, set in America, and that's the thing that holds it back the most, because people from other countries don't care. And I think there's an easy fix. She takes a road trip. Why not go through America, into Mexico, down through South America, down all through Central America and South America. At that point, she gets on a plane, goes to Europe, backpacks across Europe, goes through Asia, and she can meet friends along the way, and she can have experiences and get people from all, because people want to see themselves on the screen, and so she can just go everywhere. Why limit it to America?
Play with me here, David. What if, like everybody loves Raymond, what if we make another just cheapo version? We brighten this picture up a little bit. We make it a little more fun, make it nice, and we just cheaply make one for every country. Oh. So you get every different country's Frances McDormand, and just shoot on an iPhone for who cares.
Yeah.
And just make a cheapo version in every country.
Oh, that's a good
that
idea.
Chips your way.
Yeah.
And that way you don't have to take Frances McDormand herself all the way. Either way, I'm not going to argue with it. Either way, the movie needs international appeal.
Agreed.
It's severely lacking.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit $1 billion in the U.S. alone.
No.
So both of those ideas are strong, and I don't think we do it without international.
Yeah, we have to.
Obviously, this is another one we just talked about it, but the product placement, that type of stuff. Here's what I'm thinking: multiple times, Linda May, okay, talks about how she's thought one night about taking pills and committing suicide, drinking a bunch of alcohol and taking pills and committing suicide. What if we name the pill? What if we name the alcohol?
Oh.
She then drinks alcohol later in the movie 2 more times. What if it's aviation gin?
Yes.
Then you get, and hang with me here, it's aviation gin, which is Ryan Reynolds' company, right? So she's drinking aviation. I almost killed myself. Now I'm happy and I'm getting drunk on aviation gin.
Yeah.
And then you put, also, this could help the movie anyhow, maybe a little post-credit stinger with the man himself. He comes in. There's a part in the movie too where she's drunk, right, Linda May, and she's saying, "My dream is to go to the American Southwest and make a new cottage out of old liquor bottles that'll stand for all of time and future generations will see it. Whatever, who cares?"
Yeah.
She makes it out of aviation gin bottles. Ryan Reynolds hears about it virally, and he comes and gives her $1 million. And again, this doesn't have to be in the actual movie, post-credit sequence. Maybe he even dresses up like Deadpool and gives her $1 million.
Yeah.
Because he's so grateful that she made a house out of aviation gin.
I love this idea.
Synergy.
I love that idea. Yes, that definitely has to happen. That's such an easy idea. If we were to pitch that would get greenlit immediately.
Ding.
Okay, for me, ultimately, what this movie is really selling is a lifestyle. That's why I suggest that they start up a website called nomadvans.com. That's where we partner with somebody like Enterprise, any rental company who has extra vans, and we license out the vans from the movie so you can have the same freedom that Frances McDormand had, and you can rent the van, and then also we'll partner with like Denny's, Bob Evans. They'll have on their menu the Nomad Burger, so when you're traveling through the United States, you can stop, you can get your Nomad fuel, and then you're living it, and you can actually watch the movie and then go out and do it and
live the movie.
And on top of that, just to go to the truck itself, they never name the brand of the van. So I don't know what it is. Whoever's willing to offer us the most money, ultimately, who we're going to go with. Yeah. But she needs to say, "I love my GM truck. I love my whatever."
Right.
Could even be a Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Whatever. But whatever it is, she needs to say it. She needs to say it. Because she loves her van. She names it.
Yeah.
Why isn't there the brand?
Yeah. Why didn't she name it with a brand?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, why didn't she call it like, "Oh, I love my brand, my van, Jill Ford."
Yes.
Jill Toyota.
Exactly.
David, I love this idea. And then further, half the movie takes place on Bureau of Land Management land. That's free land for anybody to stay on.
Yeah.
So you set up a tent there that welcomes people, gives them information, sells them the Nomadland experience. That's pure profit. You're not paying to rent the land.
Yep.
I love it. I think that's a great idea. I think another great partnership too that I was thinking about is Schwab.
Yeah.
You just partner with Schwab and you say, if this is a cautionary tale, she lost everything in the Depression. You partner with Schwab, you make an app so that people can invest and they can learn from the Nomadland experience so they can retire and then have the Nomadland experience, the happy one.
Oh my God. So that actually goes to my next idea, which is a theme park called Nomadland, and you can visit it. It names itself, and you get to do all the fun things she did. There's attractions based on scenes from the movie. You get to visit a big dinosaur like the one she visited. You can put a boa constrictor on your neck like she did. And there's even an Amazon ride where for 8 hours you can pack actual Amazon boxes and get that experience.
Wow.
On top of that, you're making money for Amazon because you're actually packing real boxes.
Yes.
And you do it, and then at the end, you get to camp out, and they all sing folk songs like they did. You pay $2-3 hundo all in.
Yeah.
And that, you know what I mean?
It's pure profit again. It's pure profit. I like that one quite a bit, and I think we could help synergize that, help promote that on my next idea, which is a reality show spinoff, kind of in the vein of a Pimp My Ride, but more kind of hosted by more of a Buddy Valastro type, where they fix my van or nomad my van or whatever, and this is like this is kind of like we put rims on the van, we make it fun.
Yeah.
You know, the guys, you know, it's kind of like American Pickers, you know, they drive from community to community and we hear the story or whatever.
Have the American Pickers guys be in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We just hire them to host it. They go from town to town. It's a little bit of extreme home makeover meets, you know, but we want like like I said, like a Cake Boss type personality or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe we bring the Cake Boss in and just have him do like, you know, some special cookies or something.
Yes.
Or like the cakes for the party, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of make it the Avengers of reality shows, all the while just promoting this movie and also spinning it off into like a long-running, cheaply produced reality show.
Yes.
You know, again, promoting the lifestyle and promoting the park, you know, and promoting
ancillary
the tours.
income.
Yeah.
Okay, because you brought up Avengers, that brings up another one of my ideas. There's a moment where she briefly walks by a movie theater and you see that on the marquee, it's playing The Avengers. Now, The Avengers is a movie that already made $1 billion. We know that it's a successful movie.
Yeah.
So why not have her go into the theater and the climax of Avengers is playing?
Yeah.
Now, that opens up a question. Can we legally show that footage due to copyright reasons? I already fixed this. I got a way around it. You see her sitting there and she says something like, I love this movie. That way it's commentary.
That's a great idea, David. That's a great idea. And I don't even know if we'll need it because I think this is a Fox Searchlight picture. They were bought by Disney anyhow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say hold on to that idea for many more movies. I think it's good to have that one in the holster.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so this comes back to one of my fixes, or my recasts, basically. But presuming we recast the hippies as the Jonas Brothers, we can have them traveling the country in that bus, you know, on tour, basically. And then we'll make a cheapo app where it gives kids hints of like what, you know, solve this puzzle so that you can go on a date with the traveling nomad Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
And to solve the puzzle, you have to buy items at stores and locally tie in.
Yeah.
And so, you
go on an adventure in the grocery store like she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You turn shopping around Target into its own adventure.
You make the cart look like her van.
Yeah,
so you're her while you're shopping.
And then you scan in your items, and it'll give you a piece to the, whatever cipher or however you're supposed to decode.
Yeah.
And then, a million, let's say 1 million kids, solve this cipher. We just do a drawing. One of them gets to eat lunch with the Jonas Brothers. And for that, we have all of this extra brand recognition, this extra, for the puzzle, you actually put the solution somewhere in the movie, like she just says it or something. And then that way, kids are all saying, Mommy, I want to see Frances McDormand in Nomad Land. I want to see it because I've been playing the puzzle. Right, because they got to decode it.
Yeah.
So that I don't want to say dumb sequence, but that sequence where she's doing the old Shakespeare routine.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in there, and then maybe she just slips it in like Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Yeah.
I
should have thrown this in the fixes, but she does. There is a scene where she reads Shakespeare to somebody to teach him a poem, and that was just another missed opportunity where she could have been maybe reading lyrics from, like, say, a Jonas Brothers song or something.
Yeah, right. That way it has a little wink and a nod to Back to the Future, where she's seeding the idea to the hippie Jonas brother about the popular Jonas Brothers
song. And then he makes the song.
Yeah.
That's a gas. Yeah, that would have, and that also cleans up sort of a messy thing. She just reads him his poem, and then you don't see him again. It's just
I don't like. Did he get married? What did they have kids? What did they do?
I don't know.
Was there any passion? We don't know.
It's the movie's again. It's very rough draft.
Yeah.
Okay. My other one is Amazon. Just in general, should have played a much bigger role. I like that it was in it twice, but for example, why was this movie released on Hulu instead of Amazon Prime?
Right.
When there's a tie-in, Why isn't this just go all in, where every single Amazon package could say Nomadland on it?
Yes.
And here was another thing. There's a lot of controversy about Amazon right now, and the fact that you see her going to the bathroom in a bucket. Why don't you just have her in the Amazon facility and they say, why don't you use our very nice 5-star bathrooms that all of our employees can use whenever they want?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because that does 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It takes the burden off of Amazon. But also, by her peeing in the bucket, she's normalizing it for Amazon.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she's actually they're both doing each other a favor. Amazon says, go ahead and pee in our 5-star bathrooms. They're luxurious. And she says, actually, I like peeing in the bucket. I prefer to do that. I do it at home all the time. My home van.
Right. And then Amazon, okay, if we go your way, then we don't have to lie and pretend that they have the whole 5-star bathrooms. We can just show their actual buckets.
Right.
But then we can just make it look very, very palatable.
But it's like, Amazon only offered that because the employees asked for it.
Yeah.
They're only telling you to pee in a bucket because the employees wanted to.
Yeah. They should show that, they had a bathroom, but because it bothered the employees because it was taking away time where they could be productive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
David, to your Amazon point, I think the other big, giant missed brand opportunity in this was Progressive auto insurance. They go to the RV show, huge Progressive booth.
Oh, yeah.
They don't visit it. They don't talk. They could have had Flo from the commercials in there. She could have pitched them on it. It could have been add 11 seconds to the movie. Who cares? But it just is enough to get her in there to give it that brand recognition and just kind of propel the viewer's mind, because the movie is boring. So in the viewer's mind, they could be thinking, oh, yeah, I've been thinking about switching auto insurance.
That's a great idea. Or she could, and I don't know if one of the brands would sign off on this, but just thinking, because all of these auto insurance companies have such great characters, what if she's trying to decide which insurance she wants? So she meets the General. She meets the Geico Gecko.
Oh, good idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she meets the Caveman. Yeah, that's a good idea. So she, at the RV show.
And then she has to
decide.
decide.
At the RV show, she goes from booth to booth to booth.
Yes.
It would add a nominal 5 minutes to the movie.
Yes.
I love that idea.
Yeah. I think this might actually be my last.
That was my last one.
My last idea. We see throughout the movie that she is a cigarette smoker. What's her brand? We don't know what brand she's smoking. And say we do Camel, what if you earn Camel points, and then you can earn something like, if you get enough Camel points, you can earn like a Nomad Land branded bucket or something.
Oh, yeah, like a Nomad Land chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, some outdoors like barbecuing kits and stuff. I love that. Yeah. That's a great idea.
So... yeah, definitely tie in the cigarette. So that's what we have for the fixes, and I think with that sounds like we're definitely hitting a bill with all these.
Yeah.
Okay, next feature.
Bonus features.
Swanky passing on the Constitution.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, do you want to be Swanky? Or
okay, I'll be Swanky. Wait, and I have the Constitution?
I'll be Swanky.
You be Swanky.
You be Fern.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'll do the thing where I'm knocking on your door. Okay. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Swanky.
Oh.
Wait, no, real quick. We're going to go with your fix. I prefer Spanky. That's a funnier
Okay,
thing.
Spanky. Okay. So she'll be Spanky in this one. Okay.
Knock, knock, knock. Spanky, are you there, Spanky?
Fern, is that you? Didn't you see I hung the flag that indicates that you shouldn't be knocking? It's a very serious time for me right now. But I guess since we're such good friends, I'll open the door.
What, are you going to the bathroom in there?
Oh, you know me, but not this time. No, Fern, something far more serious has happened.
Oh, no, Spanky, what's up?
Please lower your voice. I have to tell you something. As you may have seen, I'm giving away all of my things.
Yeah.
That I'm doing that under the guise that I am terminally ill, and I use air quotes because I'm not. It just is the case that I have some very serious and very guarded material that the deep state doesn't want you to know about.
Oh, are you Q?
Even more. This goes back well before Q. Fern, I can trust you, right?
Of course.
Do you see this paper?
Yes, I do.
Fern, this is the original 28th Amendment as written by our forefathers to the Constitution of the United States of America. I have been on the lam since I discovered it 10 years ago, and I'm too old for it. They finally caught up to me. Fern, can I trust you to take this?
I don't know. This seems pretty big.
Fern, I need your help. It is so important that this never get into the hands of the current government. Do you know what's in this 28th Amendment?
No, what's in the 28th
It is
Amendment?
evil beyond. It is so vile, Fern. I can't even read it to you. And I advise you never to read it. Just destroy it as quickly as you can. Take it to a safe place and bury it amongst 1,000 weeds and bushes.
Okay, Spanky, I will do this favor. I will grab... Oh, my I think I see some cop cars in the distance.
I hear helicopters. Oh, Fern, take it now.
Keep going.
Fern, if you need me, I'll be at the nude beach.
I'm out of here. Let's go.
And scene.
Oh my God.
And then it's perfect because then she just gets right back into a road trip.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that really works. That works. That is an action-packed scene, which this movie, frankly, was lacking.
It was very lacking.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. I love that. Okay, well, we're going to get to
Pick it or nix it.
final decision time. Is it worth saving, or is it just too much work to hit a bill?
Frankly, David, I give this some pause. I think we really hit a bill, honestly. But ultimately, while I think it's possible, I think it would have been easier 35 years ago during the On Golden Pond era. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I just don't see a way to make this $1 billion earner without making it a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I just don't see the value in that. I can't devote my entire day to making this thing happen. So
you're Nix-It.
I'm a Nix-It.
Wow. So I started with Nix-It. That's what I had written down. But now that we've talked, I was so impressed with our ideas, not really the movie, but what we came up with, that I'm kind of at Pick It, because with all of this cross-promotion, I could easily see it. And like I said at the beginning, I looked at this movie as a jumping-off point. I don't know what the director was thinking. I don't know why this came out. Maybe it was an accident. But I think it really is a good rough draft to let you know how to make an actual good movie.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes we disagree, but I think regardless, David.
So we're split, 50-50.
We're split on this one,
okay.
But I do think a billion's there. I really do. I personally can't see it being worth the amount of man hours involved in doing it. But maybe.
So I guess that is it for this week's Fixture Movie. So join our Patreon. You can watch it along with us. This has been Fixture Movie.
Your movie is just okay. Now let the experts have their say. We know better than you just what you ought to do. If you want to make big bucks, it takes more than just luck. We know how to fix it, just how you remix it. So sit back and listen to what we are spitting. If you don't like it,